All right. Been a long time since I posted anything. I apologize for this long break. No, I wasn't in jail for tax evasion. If I could, I would. Anyway, just joking. We're looking at Bitcoin here, and we saw this again. That huge leap there, that large run we had. We had it topped out at 62, and then up here probably at 64.7, and then we had it pull back. Of course, we see this every time, don't we? We can see these previous months' wicks. I'm on the monthly, by the way. As the price jumped up, profit takers step in and pull back. Next month, same thing. This month, even more. Probably a lot of panic. Again, you got the novice, amateur guys that get into this, and by whatever platform, they're new to it. They don't understand trading or investing, so they think they're in this thing for a quick buck, and you can make it if you got the money. But what we see again, time after time after time, is once people start taking profits, the pros start taking some profits, it just causes a panic attack, and the new guys just get burnt because they bought up here at the top, and then it just tanked, and then what ends up happening is just a bloodbath. And then, the long holders, we see this. It's sort of a broadening pattern formation. We can still see it's on the way up, even though this month of April candle's red. It doesn't mean that it was a negative month. It did show that the price action did go up, bottomed out, and then worked back up in the last part of the month. But it's still finished above this previous candle in March, making it still an upward candle. What we see right now on the third day of May is a candle right here, right in the middle. This is an inside candle. This is what we call an inside candle. And in my previous videos, I've explained it, that the inside candle, you don't want to trade because it's neither going up nor going down. It is stuck in the middle until it breaks up or until it breaks down. Then you'll know exactly what's happening here. On the monthly, let's go to the weekly. Again, like I said, always start the macro. See the big picture of what's happening and then start stepping back in. Okay, on the weekly, what do we see here? A couple hits, kind of pushed the price action up a little bit. Still upward momentum. We still haven't touched the bottom here. So it's still staying within the top 50% of this range here. Again, what do we see for this week? We see a candle that has broke a top the previous month, but it came back down. So we're kind of seeing what's going to happen here. So it's still an up candle, it's still green, and it's still in the upward momentum. But we're going to see in the next few days and see how this thing finishes up for the week. Hopefully it finishes up and we can get back onto this trend, hugging our top price action here. But worst case scenario, where could this thing possibly go? We could see this thing go all the way down to 26,979. We could. Doubtful, but we could, because it's still within our range. So when we do get down and start playing with this bottom price here, it kind of gives us an eye to get ready to put some more money back into Bitcoin, or just put whatever you got into it, and it's time to buy. When we start seeing it here, of course, yes, you want to take some profits, take some profits. Take a little off the top, that's fine. And then again, when it comes down here and reaches that, take those profits and invest them back down here and ride it up again. You can keep a good balance of Bitcoin and keep some fluid Bitcoin for investing and playing around, trading and playing around with. And you can accumulate Bitcoin, and that's a smart way to do it. Make a little, pull a little off the top, but keep your investment there. Don't sell it all out. Buy back in down here. Boom, goes up again. Just keep doing it. Over time, you're going to accumulate more Bitcoin without having to shelling out $56,000 for one coin. That is the beauty of this. It ain't going anywhere. It's only going to go up. Yes, there's times it dips. That's investment time. That's time to invest money into this. All right, so keep your head straight. Bitcoin ain't going anywhere. It's doing really good. I keep looking at Ethereum, and boy, I just kicked myself in the tush. Years ago, I was looking at buying some, and I should have, and man, I can't believe Ethereum's sitting over 3,000 now. That's crazy. And for those who are in Ethereum, hats off to you guys. That thing's going to just keep going. It's the same thing. If you're not in it, get some. Get some. Same thing with XRP, get a little bit of that. I was in at 20-something cents, and then I sold it at 40-something cents, thinking I made a good deal because I doubled my money. Look at it now. I could have made, I think, 7 times. It could have been a 7-bagger, but it wasn't. All right, so let's go. I want to look over at Tesla because that's my baby there. And when it got down to, where was it? Right around here. This here in February. I'm on the monthly here on Tesla. I started seeing it break down below this red line, which we knew it was exhausted and just beat to death up here, and it had to come down. We know that. So somewhere in this range, whatever, I started looking at it, and I said, I think this is going to keep going because there's a lot of blood in the streets. People are panicking. I'm going to pull out for a little while and see what happens. Sure enough, it just kept going and going and going and tanked. But it did in the beginning of March, did spike back up to its normal range where it was at 879, and then it just collapsed back down to 560, then finished at 664. I did not buy in here. I was asleep at the wheel. I don't know what my distraction was. I cannot remember, but I remember when it did hit in that range that I was nowhere near my trading platform. I took a break, and you snooze, you lose. Real simple. So hopefully, I want this thing to come back and test this range of about 630, 621 would be perfect. If it hit in there, then I'm back in again. And again, it's like we were talking with Bitcoin. Tesla's, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going up. But can you make money within this range here between these two trend lines, these two channels here, or this one channel? Yes, you can make, again, buy, sell. Buy, sell. But you don't have to get rid of the whole bank. Trim a little. Sell a few shares. Make a few, make a little bit, then come down here, buy back in, maybe pick up another share or another 2 shares, 3 shares, whatever, with your profits when you sold up here. That is the best way to accumulate stock, is by doing that, is taking a little bit off the top, waiting for it to drop, buying back in, whatever your profit was, adding to your portfolio. That is the easiest way, the best way to do it, because you're doing it with other people's money. The smartest thing is to invest with other people's money. And when you're pulling profits up here, it's not yours, it's somebody else's. You're pulling someone else's money that's buying in as it's going down, and you're buying in and you're taking their money. Basically, that's what's happening. So that's other people's money, OPM. Always remember that. Invest with other people's money. So anyway, I'm going to keep an eye on this, and again, this is the monthly, and the monthly's on the inside. So again, we don't know what's going to happen. It's going up, going down. Let's look at the weekly. Okay, for this week right now, same thing. It's inside, and it's possibly looking like it might head down a little bit. It looks like there's a little micro trend happening here. Looks like a little flag kind of setting up, but it might break down here and test this range here, 617, 620. That'd be great, because I'm a buyer. At that range right in there would be a good time to get back into it. Or if you're not into it at all, it'd be a good time to get into it. But we can see this trend, how it how it just moves. It's staying within this channel, and we can know exactly where we're at just by looking at price action. I keep this here. This is my 8 EMA. It's just I don't trade off of it, but it kind of gives me an idea, kind of lets me know exactly where we're at and where we're going. Again, I don't use it to trade. What I use to trade is this, a candle. Every one of these candles tells me exactly what's happening. And by looking at the position of where it finished and where it is in relation to the trend, that lets me know what's going to happen or what's coming, and how to set up these channels, these boundaries. And what I see happening between these boundaries, you're good as gold. And it's a really good guide, and it can help you. Will it break out, of course? Way up here like it did here? Yes. Does it have to stay in here? No. Can it break below down here? Yes. I mean, we've seen it here. So at this time, when it breaks above there, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, we're going to have a pullback because we are playing with exhaustion. The volume goes up, and we're outside of the range, and the pros know that they're outside of the range. They're just riding this. And then what happens the following month or the following week? Boom, profit takers. First day, price action went up. Second day, boom, profit takers. And then indecision, the next one. Inside candle is always indecision. Always remember that. Don't trade on the inside. So that week, don't trade until it breaks above or breaks below. It didn't. Here, broke above. Okay, you could have rode this probably for a day or so before the bottom fell out again. Again here, what do we have? Inside. Don't trade. This one broke to the downside. Guess what? Boom. Went down. Same thing here. Was this a reversal? Could have been the beginning of one, but we had to wait for the next week's candle to see if there was confirmation, and it wasn't because it never broke above that. And what happened? Continuation of that downward trend. Got close to playing on that bottom, had a little bounce, but not severe, not convincing confirmation, let's put it that way. Because towards the end of the week, we had a fall. You see the wick, and then here, again, inside, indecision. Here, break to the downside. What happens? We're on inside candle again, indecision on the weekly. So again, just look at price action. That is the most important thing I can tell you. If you want to learn more on candles and something called the STRAT, you guys need to look up Rob Smith in the Black. He's got a YouTube channel. Check him out on Twitter. That's who I follow. He is my mentor, and we don't even know each other. I learned a lot from him, a lot more than in 6 months of listening to Rob than I did in 6 years of listening to everybody else. Because until you figure out what's happening price action wise, you're going to be lost, because you ain't going to have the confidence. And when you ain't got confidence, you don't have a clue. You have fear, you have psychology playing with your head, you got just fear of losing, not knowing when to get in, not knowing when to get out. You'll be a complete mess as a trader if you don't control your emotions. And the only way you're going to control your emotion is with knowledge. And then that's going to give you the confidence, and then you'll know when to get in, when to get out, and no second guess. Sure, we make some mistakes. Sure, emotions can still come back into play. Sure, the stock market isn't predictable 100%, but looking at price action, you can really get a good idea of what's happening and have that confidence. And that's what you need to be a successful trader, because fear is the killer of 98% of traders out there. Because in all reality, that's about how many that are unsuccessful. There's not that many that are making enough to make a living on trading stocks. So again, learn, teach yourself. Go to Rob Smith in the Black. Check out the STRAT. Check them out on Twitter. It's a good community where we help each other out. And you're just going to learn so much. All right. Thank you. And again, I'm sorry for being gone for so long. I will try to get on a more regular pattern here, uploading stuff as we go, and I'm probably going to start throwing Ethereum in there because it's caught my interest, and kind of start watching that one. All right, so for the time being, thanks. Please subscribe, hit the like, that really helps me out here, and peace out, man. Later, guys.